is going on, everybody? 2Bout29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks because it is time for yet another roundtable podcast. This time it is volume number 21. It's crazy. We are 5 podcasts removed from essentially having done this for a full year, which is absolutely wild to me. But I love every single second of it, and hopefully you all do too. That being said, let's go ahead and introduce our panel for the day. I'm sure no new names, as most of you have already gotten accustomed to them. The man who claims to not be in the penthouse, even though he is less than 2% difference from my own roster talent, is joining us today. Out by the pool, his toes not digging in the sand or the water because he is too good for it. It is Mr. B-Rock Gaming. B-Rock, talk to us, brother.
Wait a minute. What the hell kind of intro is that? Wait a minute. That's not cool. That's not cool. I'm giving you a Carlito here. That's not cool.
It was great.
What's wrong?
I'm just a man of the people. I have an average roster, okay? I don't have 6-star goals with one level and one move leveled up to beat people. I don't do that. I have people who I've had to work up. I've got a 6-star gold tech KO. That contributes to my roster. So, I'm the average guy.
So
Thanks,
what is he
I appreciate
contributing? The name Kevin to your 6-star gold list or something? I'm confused.
Exactly. That's all he's doing it right now. Except for when we have silence gems for Stiptor.
Yeah.
He
Totally.
helps out a lot.
Sure. Yeah.
But I appreciate, coming here and working on my vacation. Sometimes too, Bob, you make me work.
I try, but
But today I am gonna say we're not gonna call me B-Rock. We're not even gonna call me the People's Champ today. Today we're gonna call me Poolside Envy. We're Poolside Envy today.
I don't know if our envy is gonna be cool with it, but we'll see. We shall see. He's gonna allow it. He says, "All right." Well. Moving on down, B-Rock's better half, as we all know it, the first round draft pick himself. It is Mr. Chris B. Chris, talk to us, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Feels good to be the first round draft pick as opposed to the second round draft pick that is Poolside Envy. Also, I am running into a slight problem in that I already ate my snacks.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That is always a shame. Well, a bottle of water is always a good snack to have by you. I always try to make myself some breakfast before the podcast starts so that I don't get too hungry in the middle of the podcast and then have to start chewing and crunching away. It's not good for the playback anyway. But good to have you here. Also with us, as she had mentioned right before the podcast went live, she has had herself a busy weekend. We're not going to go into the details. I'll let her go into the details. It is Miss Kitsu Shell. Shell, how is it going? Are you feeling awake enough today for the pod?
Oh, I'm feeling great. Tired, but I'm good. Wishing I was poolside with B-Rock, but I wasn't invited, so it's fine.
So we got Poolside Envy and Poolside Shelly.
Nah, definitely not poolside here.
I have a lounge chair right next to me here for you, Shell.
I'm sure that lounge chair is one of those old school pool loungers that's just made out of those thick straps that you lay on, and they're so hot and uncomfortable. Yeah, that's
no, it's like a rocking chair.
Oh, okay.
It's like a rocking lounge chair.
B-Rock breaking out all the fine accoutrement for Shell to come on down. Alrighty, and of course... Oh, go on, B-Rock.
I was like, and Larry's is not too far away.
And of course, last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I brought this podcast back. He has been interacting with each and every last one of you every other week to show us who the voyeur of the week is, but I believe we have something new in store for us this week. It is Mr. Southside Envy. Envy, how are you?
Doing great. Southside Envy from the new ministry. And if you were here last week listening live, you remember I got caught off guard when I suggested that we do a list of top 10 fantastic boxes. And when I was given the opportunity, I folded like a chair, like one of those beach chairs. So I said I'm coming back this week. Top 10 fantastic boxes. So we're starting off honorable mention, but the worst box ever. The gift from admin box. Those boxes were terrible, and gladly they are gone. So officially number 10, coming in 10th, the Speed Tour box. It's a great box. You get A-tier superstars. I got them all, so it's just shards for me. But you gotta love them. Coming in at number 9. Wedding box. If you ever been to a wedding, had a wedding, and met somebody, or just got married, when you get that box coming off a wedding, oh boy, it is special. Coming in number 8, safety box. This is when you made the box feel protected, and they just want to show their appreciation. Coming in number 7, anniversary box. It was once a year, every time a year. This pretty much guaranteed box, and it hits every time. Box number 6, the marry me box. You know, when you're in the girlfriend mode and they really want to get married, they give you that extra special, and it doesn't turn out that way once you get there, but it's always convincing. Many guys have been fooled years and years. Coming in number 5, the birthday box. Now, they even got songs about this. They got all sorts of songs about this. I mean, on your birthday, it has to be special. Coming in number 4, the makeup box. This is after you've had your standard argument and you're a little mad and you just got to get that frustration out. Top notch. But God, even better than that, coming in at number 3, the I'm sorry box. This is when they don't want to tell you they're sorry and you're ready to leave. You stop answering text messages, you stop calling, and they just show up and make that last ditch effort. Usually in a tight dress or something. Oh man. Crazy. Coming in number 2, imported box. When somebody's been flued out. When you fly somebody out, if you haven't done it before, you gotta do it. When you fly somebody out, oh man. They'll say, don't expect anything when I get there, but when they get there, it's way different. And coming in at number 1, vacation box. Because when people are on their travel behavior, oh man, it gets super crazy. Stuff that you don't get at home, you definitely get on vacation. So that is top 10 fantastic boxes brought to you by Southside Envy. There will be no Warrior of the Week because I've taken up enough of your time. Be back with Warrior of the Week next week.
I feel like we completely went off the rails there. we started out good, and then
yeah, except for Southside just reminded Poolside Envy of what he's not getting this week.
Oh my god. This is I'm at a loss as to, Envy, I think we gotta fix this, right? We gotta rearrange your positioning on where we intro you, because this is becoming very difficult to try and follow you up on any of these things.
I told you it was going to be a problem. That's why you put me at the end, because I don't want to give those problems to everybody else.
Okay, got it. So it's my problem, not anybody else's problem. This makes sense.
I'm just gonna say I was privy to the top 10 list, and it changed since our meeting there. And the flued out.
This is supposed to be a podcast about WWE Champions. Like, what did I miss here?
It doesn't matter. It's over. I'm done. I am no good for the rest of the pod. You all have a great rest of your day. If you need something, I'll try to chime in. But flued out.
Yeah, flued out box. Good Lord. All right. Well, that was a hell of an intro. We are somehow already 10 minutes into the recording. So let's get the actual podcast underway. All right. So starting off, we got a week-long contest from a couple of weeks ago. I guess Scopely decided they wanted to do Pride Week. So instead of Pride Month or something along those lines. But long story short, we have the Let's Get Behind the Queens week-long. The reason for that name was because it was LGBTQ. Only found that out after the entire event was done. So little odd that they couldn't highlight that a little bit better. But nevertheless, lots of new stuff going on for the entire week long. New skill plate, new gear, new moment, and new, I don't want to say game mode, but new reward structure for King of the Ring, and I think they called it the top of the card leaderboards, stuff like that. So there's a bunch to talk about. And I think what we're going to do in terms of this, because there is so much to talk about, is we'll just kind of piecemeal this along as we go. So first thing I want to kind of get on everybody's hit list, the new Ring Royalty skill plate. Whenever you destroy 30 gems, generate 30 wildcard gems at the end of your turn. It's essentially a wildcard Royal Rumble skill plate. And that was a reward from playing the stipulation tours. So I wanted to ask everybody's thoughts on the stipulation tour kind of mode, so to speak. It felt very reminiscent of the Grand Tournament where you had to use Stip Tour and do a certain thing with a certain couple characters, and you kind of tried to work your way into the top leaderboards there. Does anybody remember the Stip Tours? Does anybody remember where they ended up? And does anyone remember if they had fun or didn't like these Stip Tours? Who wants to take it away?
I can start. I enjoyed it. I am someone who tries to play the Stip Tours daily because I'm still hunting promoter straps for Feud. But I remember going through this. This is where we were talking about the one that was it started off with X amount of people, and then it was top 500, top 250, top 100, right?
Yeah, and I think day one they goofed, and the Stip Tour
then
never
everybody
went
got a
live,
ticket.
but it was supposed to be, I think, a top 1,000.
Okay. I remember, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. It was great. I did not end up in the top 100, so I was not able to get that particular plate. But
did you make it to
still,
the final round?
I made it to the final round, yeah. I just
Okay.
was just out of top 100 because I goofed and I missed something up. I forget, it was something dumb too, which is par for the course with me. But I enjoyed the whole thing. I thought it was great, and I think it gave certain types of players a chance to shine. And yeah, I liked it.
If they did this more often, would you play Stip Tours more often?
Probably.
Okay.
I think so.
Chris, talk to me. Stip Tour thoughts.
I don't know. I don't have much on the Stip Tours. They're fine. I'm not really big on the Stip Tours. Now, when we get to the showdown.
Yep.
Leaderboards, then I'll have something to say.
We will absolutely get there, promise. But no care about the Stip Tour, just run of the mill, you did what you could for female damage and moved on?
That was pretty much it. I think I ran Asuka just for the hell of it.
Okay. Did you make it past the quarterfinals, the top 500?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't.
Okay.
Also, I didn't try. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
I was never gonna make it, to the like finals or anything like that. So I was like, why bother?
Okay. I mean, you never know. There was a lot of surprise names that were in those top boards. So there's always a chance. I guess if they did this on a regular moving forward, could you see yourself playing this more often? Maybe working on a step toward promoter or two, if there seems to be a good reward at the end of the tunnel.
It would depend on how high like the rewards actually go. Because if it's like like a top 1 or top 5 like leaderboard type thing, honestly, no. It'd be the same as like feud leaderboards and all that stuff. Like, I'm just not going for that high. But if it's like a decent range of people where you can get something, somewhat decent, then maybe.
Well, let's say it's the same structure. Let's say it's top 1,000, top 500, top 250, and then for the final day is top 100. Like, would you possibly do it then?
Yeah. It would also depend on what exactly like the setup is, like.
Okay.
Because this one was just female damage.
Yeah, it was just straight up doing damage with females.
Yeah. So I mean, if they do something like that, then I can see myself putting in the effort. But if they do something like really niche, then I wouldn't at all.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. B-Rock, talk to me. Your thoughts on Stip Tours?
It was just be
Originally, I'm saying normally. Originally, when Stip Tours came out, I was really a big fan. I was trying to get all my my promoters together. Nowadays, Stip Tours is like a task. So it's lost its luster. This was a little different, but at the same time, if you weren't top 1,000, it was pointless. So I think that's where, if they could tweak that or do something like they're doing with showdowns with Stip Tours, then I think that maybe you get some more buy-in.
So you're thinking top 1,000 is still too restrictive?
If you've got 40,000 players, supposedly,
Yeah.
1,000 is too restrictive. If you're to get something, you know what I mean? If there's 40,000 people, that's less than 10%.
For sure.
1,000 is less than 10%.
Yeah, but I mean, you also can't be giving away a big ticket item to 10% of the players out there.
Well, no. Here's the thing. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying because if you made the top 1,000, you weren't guaranteed the plate.
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the top prize be 1,000. I'm saying the entry level. To walk in the door of the penthouse with the rest of you people.
So I guess
that should be a little.
The other thing that they did do was they did goof on day one. And so everybody did get a ticket to head on into the quarterfinals, which I think was top 500. And then you could work your way down from top 500 to top 250 to top 100 to kind of move forward. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of it different in a different aspect, but that's fair. So you're thinking too restrictive still.
Just a little. Like I said, if they were able to do something to where, more people could get something other than, what were you getting? You were getting like coin for one part of it. Like, you were getting little stuff.
It was coins, it was prize wall, and then it was like points towards the event or something like that. Yeah,
if you made that just a tad bit more appealing, then I think you hit a home run there.
Okay.
Or open it up and then, do that. And I think that would get more people. Because if you think about it, 10 factions right there. That's it.
You kind of cut out there. If you think about it, do what?
Oh, sorry. I said if you think about 1,000 people, that's the top 10 factions.
Yes.
That's it. So if everybody, and we're just gonna say it from a hierarchy standpoint, everybody who is in the top 10 faction belongs in the top 10 faction, and they all produce. If you're not in the top 10 factions, you get nothing. So that's why I said you need to open it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. So the thing for me with that one was like nobody got anything out of the top 100, right? The top 1,000 didn't really get anything other than in an entrance to the following day. There was nothing else that they got that was different than what everybody got. And then the only difference was like those people with the ticket got a couple of prize wall and like stipulation tour coins. So like the rewards altogether were not very appealing outside of trying to chase that top 100 spot. So that's kind of where my take on it was. Like, even if you got in every single day and then made it to the final and you didn't hit top 100, like, you didn't really get much outside of what the person who didn't even break top 1,000 was. I think it was just step tour coins and a little bit of prize wall. And that prize wall was like, 50, 60, 70,000 for a good item. I think someone might have gotten 2,000 more, maybe 3,000 more from making it to the finals. So like I think that whole structure, and I agree with you, probably could be leveled out better, but I don't feel like it was too punishing for people that didn't make it. But that's fair. That's also fair. Envy, talk to me. What is your thoughts on the step tours?
So, although I did not make it to the finals, I loved it, and I think the only negatives was that I wasn't smart enough to know what was going on. Like, at one point, I think I leveled up I don't know what you call them, the enforcers, when the enforcers pretty much did nothing. So, that was stupid on my part, and if I wouldn't have done that, I'd probably feel even better about it. And if I had made it to the finals, I'd feel even better about it. But I think the thing that I didn't like was that there was a different appointment on each level. So let's say, for instance, on the bottom level, if I'm trying to get my class advantage going, and then I do well at the bottom level, but then when I get to the top level, I got to play a different opponent that I don't have the class advantage going forward, so I don't score as much. I wish I could have gotten a shot at the same person and came up with a plan to see how much my person hits before I get to the finals, because you only get one shot and you can't miss the chance to go. This opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, he is in today. He is bringing his A today.
So you like the step tours is what I'm hearing. Just no room for error.
Yeah, I just was disappointed I didn't get to play in the hell mode of the final day. I wanted to see what my Oscar could do against the striker, but it didn't happen. Oh well.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, I liked it. I always like when they try to come out with something new and find a way to implement it to get more people involved. I think I'm on the opposite end of where B-Rock's stance is. Typically, leaderboards are very locked down in terms of it has to be top 20 or top 10 or top 3 or first place only. And I like the idea that they spread it out to top 100. That to me was a significant win compared to what they typically do. Like even this weekend, you're looking at the top 20 on the leaderboards, right? So they always find a way to lock it down. In this particular case, they made it a lot more attainable to a lot more players. And so I liked that. I thought that was cool. What I didn't like is that there was no information ahead of time, right? So yeah, it turned out to be females most damage possible that you could get done for 3 consecutive days. When they did this before with the grand tournament, there was a new requirement or a new way to score points with new opponents and things like that. But this was very standard across all 3 days. And so I kind of wish that information was portrayed somewhere so that somebody could plan out accordingly, instead of kind of being hesitant on day one because maybe they didn't want to commit the resources to taking up a promoter for a character that they might need to use, on day one because they maybe wanted to save for day 2 or day 3. So like the strategic side of it, I feel like we weren't really given the tools to play it properly. So that was a little on the downside. But altogether, like, event was cool. I think the skill plate was good. Do I think it's like a game changer or earth shatterer? No, but I think it's a cool skill plate. I myself did walk away with one. And climbing up the ladder, you kind of realize as every day goes on, your opposition continues to get smaller, right? So on day 1, you have to fight everybody in the game, period. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You got to be in the top 500 because they skipped the top 1,000. And so to make sure that you're in the top 500, that's the most difficult day, honestly. Because then after that, you had to go from top 500 to top 250. And instead of playing, like B-Rock mentioned, all 40,000 people in the game, now you're just playing 500 people. And you got to be in the top half. So being top 50%, that's not too horrible. And then when you get to the final day and you only have 250 people that can even get, into the door, so to speak, some people are busy on that day or don't even realize it, and they just don't even play. And so, like, by proxy, you kind of just work your way into another situation where it's like, okay, now instead of top 50%, be top 40%. And, like, that's pretty doable if you're already there and actually there for the competition. And yeah, those types of game modes with stip tours, they require certain trainers or characters or promoters or props to make sure that you can kind of work your way into a heavy enough score that you don't have to worry about dropping out of whatever the top board is. But instead of it just being, hey, top 10 on the final day, it's top 100, you can be in 30th place and still win. You can be in 70th place and still win. And that's kind of what I liked about it. I'm happy I walked away with the skill plate and whatever. That's more of a me thing than anything else. But I like the idea. I think if stip tours were more like this, that I could see myself playing them more often. I can see myself leveling up stip tour promoters more readily so that I can be able to use the majority of my roster instead of just one class or maybe 2 classes. So I dug it. It was pretty cool. I thought it was fun. Anybody else?
So, Bob, who did you use?
Who did I use? I used Zombie Bailey. I used Zombie Bailey with, I guess I found 150% move damage strap for her during one of these zombie events. I think it was the, what's the spring one or something? Spring Outbreak. I found a big move damage strap for her on Spring Outbreak. And then I just used some props, and I kept on getting her move damage increase up and up and up and up and up. And I just kept on doing big old numbers of damage, like billions of damage with her moves. And my promoter that I had from yesteryear, so to speak, was Icon HBK, was the Trickster Heartbreak Kid, which promotes strikers. Because that's who used to be the Stip Tour Kings, were all the strikers, whether it was Zombie Triple H or Macho King or whoever, because you wouldn't lose turns if you skipped your opponent's turn and all this type of stuff. So yeah, I ended up using Bailey, which was super fun. Yeah, it was good. Anybody else on the Stip Tour thoughts, or the skill plate altogether, the Ring Royalty skill plate? No? All right. Well, let's talk about the rest of the week long. So the rest of the week long outside of the STIP tour, which was a good chunk of it, also just so happened to have, I know we talked about the fact that there's some new additions. So before we get on to the highlight of this week, I think, which is what everybody wants to discuss, let's get this out of the way too. The Chelsea green gear and the new green regime moment. Any thoughts on these things? They were both available on the prize wall or through some daily deals. Anybody feel like these things were essential, were worth the price tag? Did anyone go for either of these? Any desire whatsoever? I know I had enough prize wall for the Chelsea gear and decided there's no chance in hell that I'm getting it. The moment, as everybody knows, I'm a fiend for moments because I want to play characters to their fullest extent. And so I went for the moments because it was the daily $20 dealio. But curious on everybody else's thoughts, and then we'll dive right on into the showdown talks. Shelley, you want to kick us off? No? All right. All right, B-Rock, how about you kick us off?
I'll jump in. The Chelsea green, that whole contest sort of irritated me, to be honest with you, because you could have got a 6-star Chelsea green for $20.
A 6-star trickster Chelsea green, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like an offer for the contest, or during the contest, like 6-star gold, which that's too wild, but it was like, okay.
You're kind of chopping up all over B-Rock.
Sorry, it's the wind. Hold on, let me move inside. I'll be right back.
All right, well, from dipping his toes into the sand, he's going to bury them in some carpet. Chris, while B-Rock's on the move, talk to me. What's your thoughts on the Chelsea moment or the gear?
Yes, personally, I didn't chase any of them. There have been some moments that I've done the $20 for 4 days thing. I didn't do it for this one just because I don't really use those characters all that much. And there was nothing enough about the moment that was like, I'm gonna rocket these people to being my main trickster or main powerhouse or whatever. It's a solid moment. If you use any of them, you want it, but I don't think it's anything game changing. And then Chelsea's gear, I mean, it's a solid gear. It was plus 4 MP or something like that?
Yeah.
Am I rightly? So, I mean, it's good for her. I don't think it makes her, as good as, say, Trick Liv with all of her stuff.
Right.
But, if you like to use Chelsea, it's a good gear to have, and it does make her better. Makes her much more playable in this day and age. Do I think it, makes her top tier or anything? No, but it was all solid stuff. It was just nothing that moved the needle for me.
Yeah, I was kind of leaving the comment behind when I saw that gear, and I'm like, it's a great gear, but Chelsea's still Chelsea. And that was kind of my issue with it. In the moment, while it's cool and gives her a little bit more move damage, it's not anything earth-shattering where you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely using Chelsea all the time now. It makes her good. It makes her solid. But it's not moving the needle. The moment is nice, right? For if you're going to use Tech Liv, it's good for the yellow gems. It's good for Raquel if you're going to go with the all color gems and the Devil's Drip Yeet combo, which is what I love to do. I did some wacky playtesting on Tech Bailey there, which she did fairly well. Almost like 70 to 80 million damage with a purple rumble plate because it's a mobiles and all that stuff. But I mean, yeah, they were nice additions to the game. I just don't think that they were as impactful as they wanted it to be. But that being said, I liked it. I thought it was fine. You there, Shell?
Yep.
Cool. Talk to me. Chelsea gear, the green regime moment. What are your thoughts on these things?
My thoughts on the gear and everything were very similar to yours. I got it because it was pretty. It was really pretty. I wanted the crown plate that went with it because, again, it was so pretty.
Oh
but, okay, is what it is. But the gear, Chelsea's still Chelsea. It's not, wasn't going to do anything.
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the moment.
Yeah.
I am one token short of that moment.
How did we do this, Shell?
I have no idea. I missed a day, apparently. But I had 3 out of 4 tokens for this moment. And I'm like, what? I kind of wanted that moment. And I'm like, well, okay. I just got to hope and pray that there'll be a token for that somewhere down the line. I only have 1 out of 3 of the Austin Rock one. Was that was that a premium one?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how I missed today, but I missed today and I don't have the moment, so I don't know. Sad.
Sorry, Shell. This seems like it was a brutal week for you.
It was not great.
Close to the fancy skill plate, not there. Close to the moment, not there. But got the pretty gear.
Got the pretty gear that I'll put on her, but I don't use for a character that I don't use. But hey,
goodness,
it's all good.
B-Rock, you indoors yet? You wanna give this a second go, or should we head on down to Envy's side of things? Wow, it's all right. It's a long climb from the poolside to his mansion over there. All right, Envy, talk to me. Thoughts on the Chelsea gear? Thoughts on the green regime moment?
As someone who uses Chelsea and has had their needle moved by her, I had to get the moment. I had to go out and get it. I got it. And I'm feeling good about it. I use her against all the technicians every feud, so I roll out Chelsea all the time. And I would have got her gear, but 4MP really doesn't matter to me, so I passed on that. But I really considered it. It was like there, and I said I can get it, but there's so much better on this prize wall, so I'm not going to do it. But I want it. I hope it's in a gear loot sometime because I'm going to use it. I'm going to use her. Use her every chance I get, and I was almost convinced to get the 6-star gold Chelsea that B-Rock was talking about because mine is on the 6-star silver and still doing work. But I couldn't convince myself to do that. I got tons of trips to tokens. That's not where the drought's at. The drought is in Striker and Powerhouse. So Chelsea may go gold one day. Maybe when I get the gear. You never know. But the needle will be moved. I'll tell you that.
Fair enough. All right, B-Rock, you safe and sound, or are we moving on to the topic everybody wants to talk about? I hear no B-Rock. All right, let us move on to our most sought after topic. The Showdown, the King of the Ring Showdown contests and Queen of the Ring Showdown contest, accordingly so. Showdown has a new format for at least this particular event. I have no idea if that's what the standard is going to be moving forward, but top of the card leaderboards, as they have referred to it. There are now buckets with 27 players, and I heard some people had 18 players or even 9 players in their buckets. And I think that is all depending on your league ranking. To my understanding, I should say, it's like leagues 7 to 9, 10 to 13, 14 to 17, 18 to 22, and then the top 2 leagues of 23 and 24. And then depending on what league that you're in, you get a different amount of solo points that they offer available to you. And then in the very top league, you can also earn loot coins if you are in the top 4 spots in your own mini bucket. So it's not like you're only able to fight against these 27 people, but you can fight the entire game. But those are the people that you are put up against in terms of rankings and in terms of where your own leaderboards are. So instead of needing to leaderboard against all 40,000 players in the game, you only need to leaderboard against your own bucket of 27 players in the game. And then there was obviously a couple of things with the showdown. So like certain characters got 100% gem damage on offense or defense, and then same thing for the Queen of the Ring as well, 100% gem damage for offense or defense. Just some CSS very similar to the typical like steel cage boosts or the new showdown boosts that they've come out with. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to talk about this one and be thrilled to discuss the new changes to Showdown. There was also some pretty intense CSS where you needed to break like 200 gems of every color and then deal, I think it was like 100 million damage or 150 million damage with each class or something wacky. But yeah, let's talk about the new showdown. Whoever wants to take it, I'm sure plenty of takers on this one. Feel free to go right ahead and do so.
I guess
All
I'll
right.
go.
All right, Cheryl, go ahead.
I was going to say, as someone who is not a big fan of Showdown, because I don't particularly enjoy the strategy aspect of the game, I just like going in and hitting things. I did enjoy the buckets. I thought that made it a little bit more streamlined, that you were, going up against people that you were more, my brain is not working. Why? But like that you're more, better to be matched up against. I did pretty well. Like I think I ended up in my top 3 a couple times, which was astounding for me because again, I don't enjoy the strategy and figuring things out part. But it was overall, I thought it was pretty good. Like I enjoyed it.
Okay. Very
Okay,
cool.
Chris, you can explain better for me.
I mean, I thought it was great, especially I just thought the setup was done really well, with the buckets as opposed to going against everyone. So it gave so many people a chance to get rewards that normally are just way out of reach for them. Because I know so many people, just going over my faction, were getting into the loot pools and all of that. And most of us aren't used to getting, a high enough leaderboard reward to get something like that. So to have a chance to actually get the good stuff is a big deal for a lot of people. And I know it helped out a lot of rosters. Even just getting, I think third place was 14 pools. Even just getting that was, made a lot of people really happy, to be perfectly honest. So I really like the setup and how this was done. I think they did really well on this, and I hope they bring it back, which just because now that I said that, it's not going to come back, but I can hope it will, because I think they did really well with this event. I think this was a home run for Scopely on this one.
Yeah, I'll chime in here. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I wasn't thrilled with the idea that I had to do hundreds of millions of damage with each class, but that's whatever, neither here nor there. In regards to the event structure itself, I love the idea that you get put into your own kind of little bucket to compete against other players in. That's a win to me, so that you don't always have to fight all 40,000 people or 20 or 10,000 people in your league. That always feels like an overwhelming task. So the idea that you're kind of in your little niche quarter, so to speak, really makes it feel like it's doable. The bucket that I got put into for day 1 and day 2 was definitely a solid bucket for me. I ended up walking away with first place in my showdown bucket on the first one and second place on the second one because, somebody got a bug up there, and decided to buy some energy towards the end or had some energy stockpiled, and I lost by, I think it was like 30 notoriety or 40 notoriety or something silly like that. But I mean, it was fun. It was interesting. It was different. I enjoyed it. And typically, like I'm not a huge showdown fan. I really never have been. I hate the idea of energy. I don't like the idea that I have to spend money on it. It's a complete waste to me. But I thought the event structure was just fine. I think the points that it fed into the bigger event was great. I think the loot coins that it fed definitely helped out a lot of players. Myself, I didn't really care about the loot coins because I didn't really have much from the loot that I could get. But I saw a lot of players that were in our faction who managed to get first place in their own bucket or, top 3 in their own bucket that they ended up walking away with a lot of new characters, right? A bunch of players walked away with at least 1, if not 2 or even 3 new characters because of those loot coins that they got. So that was really cool to see a lot of wins for a lot of people out there. Definitely very fun. I can see myself, as well as a lot of other players, wanting to see this type of showdown continue moving forward because it feels rewarding. It feels like there's enough of a reward in playing showdown and that there's a chance to get it because you're not having to play 20,000 people, but instead 20 people. That it now feels attainable and like something you can do. So that for me it was a pretty resounding, solid success, and I hope a lot of people think the same.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I could hear you when I was in the elevator, but you couldn't hear me.
The elevator up to the penthouse. Yeah.
No, I don't have two. I don't have 2 Bob money. I don't have 2 Bob money. I'm a 3rd floor guy right now.
Yeah. 3rd floor.
Yeah, that's their penthouse, B-Rock.
No, not 3rd floor in a hotel is not the penthouse. But I will say that when the showdown piece came about, it was really interesting. I'm a fan of the idea. I'm a fan of it when it works. So I'm just going to share my experience because I said something. I put something in our chat. I'm trying to figure out why I got 34 people in my thing, and then the next day it was like 22, and then it was like 27. It was just weird, and I was matched up with. I guess maybe my understanding of how you were supposed to be matched up was a little different because I looked at the people I was matched up with and I was like, what the hell is this? Because some of the people who I was in there with were very high players. And then there was like 4 people from my own faction in there who were very low players. So the person who won cakewalked it. The person who finished first, he finished first by like 1,000 notoriety. It wasn't even close. So I don't know. I guess it was just the experience for me in the group that I was in was just a little off. That's what I'll say.
The matchmaking process for the buckets was definitely odd. I definitely was in a bucket that I only recognized a couple of names. Not to I guess badmouth anybody else or down talk anyone else or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I had a lot of fun with it. Envy, thoughts on Showdown?
I love the showdown, and I loved it for multiple reasons. So, the people who were in my bucket, didn't respect any of them. So I was just out there disrespectful the first time and got second place only out of the pure disrespect that I was hitting people lower than me. I didn't think these guys could catch me. And somebody caught me. One person caught me and passed me. But that was out of pure disrespect out of my heart. Then the second time around, it was play how you want to play. Because I don't care about none of you guys in my bucket. I'm trying to get these prize wall tokens. So I switched to the prize wall promoter instead of the promoter. I didn't need anybody out the loot. I didn't, and y'all can have at it. And I'm gonna skyrocket up the one for the prize wall to get more prize walls in my pocket. And it worked out perfectly. And it gives you two paths to go. You can be chasing these pulls, or you can be chasing the prize wall, whatever else in the other competition.
Yep.
So it's a great mixture of playing how you want to play, having people in your bucket that you may know, you may not know, and if you think they're all sorry, maybe you can go after it. You can fully get those pulls if you want it. But if you don't want it, you can play a completely different way and play Showdown how you want to play and still get what you want out of it.
It was definitely a good sounding showdown then for you. All right. That was our LGBTQ weekend, or week long rather. Anybody else with any other thoughts on the week long event altogether? Because like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff that went into play for that one. Alrighty. Let's move on to our Ugandan Giant Faction Boss Battle Weekend. So, Kamala makes his way into the fold in our game, which I don't think anybody was expecting, to be very honest. But yeah, Kamala is here. The Ugandan Giant is also our faction boss. So there was supposed to be a trend that we can use the A tier character to beat on the faction boss, but it kind of fell pretty flat this past month, with the A tier being Bundy. So even though the blog says that you can dominate the boss battle, you definitely didn't. If you used him. At least that was my take. Very curious to hear if anybody else actually used Bundy or felt like using Bundy was the go-to or the path or the way to win. Really want to hear feedback on that. And then we could talk about Kamala himself as a fighter, the new Gruesome Guy's skill plate, which is essentially just a blue version of the Sheik plate, and what everybody thought about the boss battle altogether, because the bonuses that we had this time around were very weak, and then you needed to, I guess, do all the daily scout missions to get a little bit of a better bonus. So, interesting little weekend that we had for Kamala here, but kind of want to hear everybody's thoughts all together on it. So, what's everybody thinking about Kamala in the game?
Well, I'm happy Kamala's in it. It's like I'm always happy when someone new comes in who's not just like a retread, in a different class or anything like that. Always happy to see new cards, and Kamala's a fun card, so I'm happy to see him. That was the one thing I wanted to comment on. Those thing you've been harping on is Bundy still sucked during this boss. He was still like he's not a good card. The way he's set up is not done well. He's not good, and they did nothing for him during this boss battle. They gave him, 100% increase in blue gem damage, and in order to be good in boss, he needs a miracle. He needs some really out-of-this-world buffs. He was completely worthless to use. I am sorry if he was the best you had, because you deluded yourself into thinking that, because it's not true. The best randomly was Hornswoggle.
Hey, Hornswoggle was great.
Who absolutely dominated, but you could also do well with Hall of Fame Ron Simmons, people like that. So there were plenty of people to use. It's just that the one person we were told who was going to absolutely dominate was a non-factor, was actually a detriment to your team if you used him.
Yeah.
Because for some reason they decided to focus on 100% blue damage. He needed multiplies, You could have maybe done something with Bleed, but honestly, he was never. I don't think, unless you're giving some out of this world boost, Bundy was ever going to be a factor because he's not a factor on most people's rosters right now.
Right. Yeah.
But
he fell flat.
Yeah. Outside of that, I thought the boss was fun just because you had to use a different mechanic than usual. Usually it's gem damage. In this case, you were focusing a lot of. I'm sure most people focused on power gems.
Yeah.
And it was nice just to see that new dynamic. So I did appreciate that. And it's fun to have Kamala in the game. Who doesn't want Kamala in the game? If you say you don't want Kamala in the game, then you need more fun in your life.
Anybody else on Kamala?
Yep, I'm going to chime in here real quick. Look, Rick Ross's daddy, welcome to the game. I appreciate it. When it comes to new characters, Chris and I are very much on the same page. Anytime we get somebody new, it's a really good showing. To Bob, I don't know if you remember that I said a long time ago. I said this isn't going to happen again. This is going to be something that they're going to Scopely, which they did exactly what I said that they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Bundy was supposed to be key. He wasn't. A free character months before that, the Disciple, was 10 times better than the guy that's supposed to be the key. I just really wish that we could just get a little bit of consistency and just follow what you say you're going to do. That's all. That's, I get that they're trying. I get they're trying to, breathe life into different parts of the game. I understand it. It may not be as easy as we all think it is, but if you have something that you've mapped out and it works, I know some people get mad with plug and play, but sometimes plug and play is okay. You can do it because you sure as hell plug and play with Steel Cage.
This is very true.
So let's try it again this month. We'll say that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm under the impression that Becky is going to be damn good enough for whatever boss that we get. So Becky is our A tier this month, which means that we should be expecting a female boss this month. And I am fully expecting Becky to be an absolute monster of a carry for that one. Becky hits like a freight train. So I would love to see just how strong she's going to be when boss rolls around. But yeah, Bundy fell flat. I think for just about everybody out there. Boss to me wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, because the bonuses were really crap, to put it kindly. It was like, hey, you get 100% blue gem damage, 200% botch gem damage, 300% power gem damage. Like, it was weak, right? Like, typically, for those that remember when boss first came out, we used to get thousands, right? We used to get like, here's 1500% cross break gem damage. Here's 2000% power gem damage, right? Like, we used to get wacko numbers, and now it's like, here's a couple hundred, because why not? And it's like, that's horrible. And then that turned into, okay, well, we hear you, so make sure to check out the scout missions because we changed those. It's like, okay, why did you change the scout missions? For what? So that those can also feed into the bonuses that we get. So instead of 100% blue gem damage, we can get 200% blue gem damage if we fill the scout mission. It's just weird. I don't understand why that had to change. I think that was an attempt at trying to be cutesy and failed miserably. The old scout missions weren't great. Don't get me wrong. They were kind of stupid to me. But this was not the way to go about doing it, of like, hey, make sure that you fill your scout in. We're going to make them really valuable because they're going to be bonuses for the boss also, just maybe not as important as the boss bonuses. Like, that made no sense to me. I disliked that severely. That being said, like, the boss itself was not that bad with a power gem character, as Chris alluded to. I ended up using Penta He was very similar to the old school Batista bomb that I wanted to use, just better version of it. For the weekend, Kamala's great. I really feel like he's kind of a one-trick pony. You got the blue moves and blue move damage, and that's kind of it. Like, yes, he could use the trap gems. Yes, he can do some other damage, but it's not as efficient as just using his blue moves and fighting a technician. And the skill plate is mainly for him. I don't really see anybody else in the game that is huge on blue move damage that will actually utilize that skill plate. The last time somebody was great with blue move damage was Acrobat Montez Ford. And that was back in like 5-star bronze, 5-star silver days. We are, 4 rarities removed from that, at 6-star gold, and essentially the end of whatever this rarity has been. It's been 14 months or something like that so far. So we're a ways away from that, to put it very kindly. So weekend altogether was fine. Kamala was not an easy recruit, so to speak, but I'm happy for a new character in the game. I think he's fun to play, fun to use, but that was pretty much it. Boss was chill, like I was saying. Penta did crazy numbers. Per swipe was over 4, 5, 600 million damage, so it was great. It was fine. Anybody else on our boy Kamala? Andy, I don't think I heard from you.
Yeah, Kamala didn't leave an impression on me, so much so that last night I called him Abdullah the Butcher, which was sad. I'm disappointed in myself for that. So, didn't get him, needless to say. And the boss battle was great. I love breaking out Hornswoggle and doing work and actually carrying for one of the few times I can actually get my carry on. So that was good, but yeah. So the only good thing I could say about King Kong Bundy is I got his CSS done this weekend at 5-star silver. Now I had to do like 4-minute matches to get it done, but I got it done and got him out the lineup as quickly as possible. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean he can punch up, but that you're not going to want to take him up because he's not very good and doesn't really have that great of an entourage, to be honest. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that he could have been really good and just isn't. Shell, have you left your feedback on Kamala?
No, not yet. I got him. I enjoy him. I think he's a great addition to the game, both as a new character, someone we didn't have, and as like a playable character. Faction boss was faction boss. I am blessed to be in a great faction that coordinates very well and has some brilliant minds that can get stuff done if people show up on time. I work, but it was great to just be able to log in, get on, get done. Although I was getting tagged 20 minutes into boss. Oh, hey, you're at a 0. I'm like, I'm at work. Like, yeah, I'll be right there. I love it. It was great. It was the first time for me. So, yeah.
Good.
Was Tubob the one tagging you?
No, it was actually Mr. Cool Swan, and he said he was just tagging me because he knew I was going to show up anyway. Which, I guess that makes sense. Maybe. I don't know. But I have to say, I've definitely enjoyed using Kamala in this feud that we're currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kamala's great.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's definitely going to make it into my standard lineup moving forward. But I'm not a fan of the one-trick ponies. But go on.
Fair. I also will definitely echo this disappointment in King Kong Bundy. I ended up taking him. Mine's at 6-star silver. I took him up when I got him, and I regret that because even at 6-star silver, he's just very meh. So,
If it makes you feel better, that does not change at gold.
thank you. It does make me feel better.
Yeah, that's it's sad that we can all agree that something is horrible. What are you gonna do?
I did want to add in, because we haven't talked about the plate that much. I like the plate, like, in terms of what it does. Unfortunately, it's just, 3 years too late? How long have we had the Sheik plate now?
That's exactly what I said when I first saw it. I was like, "This
It
is a
should
cool
have been released.
plate."
They should have released one for each color, like, around that time.
Yep, I was like, "This is a cool plate, cool concept." It's just like 3 to 4 years too late. So
Better late than never, right?
yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's tough to look at that and be like, yeah, well, happy we finally got it. Like, I don't know.
Wait,
I'm
I just
thinking
saw
about
a comment in chat that Bundy was great in level 1 global lobbies. Really carrying there.
There you go. He did what he needed to. He dominated level 1s, but he dominated. Well, all right. Anything else for our faction boss weekend that we want to talk about before we head on through to our new MLC? Going once, going twice, and sold to the new MLC. Unleash the Heat. Interesting name of an MLC, but it is a brand new MLC with quite a lot of new goodies in it. So let's just hop right on into it. Our freebie B tier character, Hall of Fame Lex Luger. So Lex in the Hall of Fame, and I guess the game didn't want to wait to add him to our rosters. And then our A tier, as we alluded to a little bit earlier in the podcast, is a new Becky Lynch, Back to Business Bex. And on top of that, the very, very highly touted and heavily desired brand new character, first of a kind, as we've all alluded to, that we all love our new characters. El Grande Americano Numero Uno is added to the game. So those are our 3 new characters for the monthly. There are some new gears that also got put out. So some gears for Lex, and also Becky has a very strong gear as well. And the revamped characters, Powerhouse Lex Luger and Showboat Yokozuna. So Lex now has a stronger botch gem setup. Yoko now has a much stronger protect gem setup. Are the two of them like OP broken? No, but they are definitely strong enough to get the job done. So yeah, lots of new stuff this monthly. We could start off there. Let's start off with our characters. What's everybody think about all of the new characters and even the revamps for the Unleash the Heat monthly?
So I'll jump in first.
Let's do it.
Like the fact that we have the new Chad Gable.
Who?
That's a big one. I think that's something that a lot of people were like, yeah, that'd be great to have him in the game, and I think Scopely answered that.
Wait, who?
Without any, huh?
Who?
Chad Gable.
What about Chad Gable?
El Grande Americano. I'll do it for you.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, Chad Gable.
Weird. Okay,
I will say,
I don't see it.
I absolutely despise Hall of Fame. We all know this. So getting a Hall of Fame guy, not in that horrible Hall of Fame month, not great appealing for myself. I absolutely love the revamp for Yokozuna, it took him from like a complete dumpster fire to just a straight trash can.
Okay.
So he went from dumpster fire to trash can because I thought Eddie revamp was the worst. I think Yoko is now the worst. And they did Roman Reigns and his family way wrong making Yokozuna that bad.
You think they made
Lex Luger
Yoko
revamp.
horrible?
Huh?
You think they made Yoko that bad? I thought you were just happy with it.
No, he's horrible. He went from complete and utter dumpster fire to just trash. I mean, the improvements is nothing. It's like Eddie all over again.
Okay.
It's not good. It's just not good. Just overall, like you could do something with the character, but it's just what it is. Besides that, like Lex Luger, how many finishers does he have now?
Powerhouse Lex?
Yeah, isn't it like 4 of his moves a finisher?
No, he's got 2
Or
finishers.
just maybe it just feels that way. So if you're gonna revamp somebody, can we make it to where it substantially betters the character? I think that's my big bone to pick with the revamps this month.
Okay. Also, let me apologize to anybody that's watching on the YouTube playback. As I'm a huge fan of El Grande Americano, this is an issue on the emulator. He causes everything to lag tremendously so, like horrifically so. So I'm not really sure what the hell to do or say about that. Regarding the revamps, I didn't think either of them were that horrible. Am I going to go out of my way to use them? Like, no, I'm not going to use them, especially with the roster that I have, but I think it made them from completely forgotten and unusable characters to somebody that I can use if needed. Like, if there's a Yoko requirement, are you really going to use Hall of Fame Yoko over the new revamped Yoko? Like, no way in hell. If there's a Lex requirement, which is a bad argument because now we got Hall of Fame Lex, but if we didn't have Hall of Fame Lex and you had this revamped Lex versus Wolfpack, like, you're using the revamped Lex 100%. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. And on top of that now, which I know we haven't gotten into just yet, there's new moments for these guys. So we get to see how strong they are with the new moments. And I'm fairly certain that they're actually pretty good.
So Bob, I have a question.
Go on.
Because you sort of answered it, but you didn't answer it. After this month, you'll never use those characters again.
For me, yes, correct.
For you, yes. And what I'm saying is that when the benchmark, right? The benchmark is Austin.
Oh, you're talking about for revamps?
For revamps.
Oh, but that's
so
not.
Revamps.
No. You can't set a benchmark. No, you can't set a benchmark to a character that got implemented in 5 moments and a new gear. That's not a fair benchmark to make, because then everybody needs that 5 new moments, right? That's not.
That's
fair.
if you have everything. That's if you have everything. I don't have everything. I don't have everything anywhere close to it. Okay, but Austin is playable and usable across the board. Judgment Day Rhea, her revamp, she is playable and usable across the board. So I used Judgment Day Rhea to complete one of the tours not too long ago that we needed for Rhea. When we had to do the 3 different ones. Normal, it was a couple weeks ago, but anyway. So these guys you're able to go to and play them after their revamps. You had to lay out something specific. You said, hey, if there's a Yokozuna requirement on a Sunday after 3 p.m. where you have to face, Ultimate Warrior with a broken leg, and all that stuff has to line up for us to want to use this guy.
Sure, but okay.
So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but okay. So like, when are you going to use Piper Niven?
Oh, I'm going to use her a lot.
Where? Why?
If there's any type of requirement that has move damage as over gem damage, I'm going to use her.
But there's never a requirement for using move over gem.
Well, not requirement. I mean, if you're getting a bonus for move damage, absolutely.
Oh, that's wild to me.
Well, think about it. Who's a better female powerhouse that does move damage?
Sure, but what do you need to do move damage for when you also have better female powerhouses in general, like Raquel?
Well, if you don't have, and I'm talking average, if you don't have the Devil's Heat, then she's better than Raquel.
Oh man, that's a stretch. Okay, what about Goldberg then? Powerhouse Goldberg and his revamp. Right, like that's kind of where I'm getting to, is like all these revamps that got done and happened, right? Like the majority of them are not very good. That's kind of where my stance on this is. But
Powerhouse Goldberg, when he came out, wasn't awful.
What about Phenom Taker?
I like the Phenom Taker revamp.
Sure, I like it too. When are you going to use them? Never.
Phenom, not necessarily, because if I look at it, like if you don't have Showboat Taker, who's better? If you don't have Showboat Taker, who's better than the revamped Phenom Taker?
Sure, you're saying as a Taker requirement?
Yeah, as a Taker requirement.
Sure.
And you're going to have more Taker requirements than you're ever going to have Yoko and Luger.
I just I guess my argument is most of these revamps are not characters that you're going to use on a regular basis. That's kind of where my stance is, right? I don't think for you're the same. You're not going to use Phenom Taker. You're not going to use Eddie Guerrero. You're not going to use Veteran Cena. You're not going to use Powerhouse Goldberg. Like, you're not going to use any of these characters. You're just not, right? So to knock Lex and Yoko because you're not going to use them, that's the one that's odd to me, because then we should be knocking all these other characters too, because they all suck, right? And that's not the truth, because they don't really suck that bad. They're not your best. So that's where my stance is, at least on the revamps. And the flip side is, sure, if you have any Piper requirement, there's only one Piper. So if you have to use Piper, you have to use Piper. If there's an any Goldberg requirement, you're going to use Hall of Fame Goldberg. If there's an any Cena requirement, 99% of the community is going to use the holographic Ruthless Aggression Cena, the Acro. Right? If there's an any Taker requirement, if anybody doesn't have, any other takers, they'll use Phenom, but if they have Showboat, they'll use Showboat. If they have, why am I drawing a blank? Oh my god.
That's it.
No, there's another one.
It's not Hall of Fame Taker.
No, Hall of Fame Taker is horrible.
It's not Zombie Taker. It's not Last Outlaw Taker.
I can't search on
there's 9 takers in the game, and Phenom ends up being the second best out of 9 characters.
I don't know them by their names now, and it's all sorted all wacky. There's 2 Ministry of Darkness takers. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, and I can't search it up on the portal. But sure, even if that's the case, right? And let's say that you don't have TNM Taker, then sure, you'll go ahead and use Phenom Taker. That's fine. That's understandable. But you're talking, what, 1 out of a month? 1 out of a half a year, I should say? you're not going to use the majority of these characters. That's where my issue is with these revamps. So I'm not hating on the Lex and Yoko revamps. I don't think I'm using them, but I ain't hating on them.
Maybe I guess that our expectations were a little different.
Sure, it's completely fair to say that too. But I don't expect anything. I don't expect a damn thing in this game. Not nowadays. Let's ask the rest of the crew that we got here. Instead of just this monthly's characters, let's focus on the revamps. What do we all think about the revamps?
All right, I'll go just because we're tired of hearing you two yap about this.
Yeah.
So my whole take, my determination of whether or not a revamp is usable for whenever you need them. I'm not expecting any of these revamps to be someone that I am going to be using like my go-to. Now, some are going to get lucky, like, Striker Austin, and get a ton of other bells and whistles that make them great. But I don't expect that for most of them. And actually, Luger and Yoko are getting more than I feel like most of these revamps, because that moment, if you get it, is actually very good for them.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of if we're talking about revamps and in terms of everything they have available to them, they're now near the top simply because of that moment. But overall, I'm just looking at whether or not it makes them usable, and it's a huge upgrade over what they were. They're both now usable. Am I going to be a go-to, for any of them? Absolutely not. I have far better, posters and all that, but they are at least usable. And I do appreciate that they're trying to do something with the revamps other than, just the normal revamp, and then there's, the Armory Loot and a couple tours. They actually did multiple revamps, and they based it around, a moment, which is the Yokozuna Luger feud back in the whatever year, the 90s it was. And, we now have that moment in its own moment. So I do appreciate they're doing something a little bit this time.
Yeah, I like the idea that they themed the moment around what actually happened. It's very cool. Shell, talk to us. Revamps. What's your thoughts?
I honestly do not. I know it's a running joke, but I just yeah. Or I was like, yeah, everybody just said it. But it's so true. You've all hit the nail on the head. I don't, I'm busy a lot lately. So I get in, I get my stuff done, I get out. So I don't really pay attention to things too much. But I just, everything Chris said just made so much sense to me. So listen to Chris, not me.
All right, Envy, you talk to us. Revamps.
So with the revamps, I remember Lex. I used to use them a lot back in the day, and the key was get a bunch of botches out, hit the finisher, and keep them down. Now is get a bunch of botches out, hit the finisher. It'll hit harder, and they will stay down, not from the botches, but because they got hit so hard.
Right.
Which I guess is a positive, but it's kind of like we're still doing the same thing. I really don't feel like it. They changed the game with them. They just said, "Oh, we're gonna make them hit harder now, so that you can get your gem damage up for the showdown," which is great. I can dig it, but it doesn't really make my life better. And Yoko, I didn't even know how Yoko used to even move, so I don't know what it changed. I guess he's usable enough for me to do stuff with him when I need to. And I got his showdown done too, so as long as it's good enough to do the showdown this month, that's good enough for me.
Fair. I can respect that. Yeah, I have not been able to take a peek into what they look like with the new moment, but I am very much so looking forward to it. I would love to see just how strong they can actually get, because those moments are very, very sizable increases to both of them. So I'd love to see it. And I think that's more along the lines of what B-Rock was talking about in terms of Austin, that you got to get some bells and whistles moving, right? And well, this seems like a pretty significant bell and whistle in terms of what they can get. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what it's gonna end up being. Again, do I think I'm going to be using these guys on a regular basis? No, but I do think that there's a good chance that I can possibly just use them when they're required. And I don't think I'll have any issues using Yoko for Yoko requirements if there's ever one in the future. And I think that's a win. That's always going to be a win to me. Compared to when people are like, hey, use this character, and it's a struggle. That never feels good when there's a struggle to have to use a character. That always sucks. So that's kind of my outlook on it. Outside of the revamp characters, we can talk about the monthly characters of what we got in Hall of Fame Lex and Becky and Americana. I'm not sure how many of you have looked into any of them or seen any of them or watched content of any of them or any of that stuff, but you can definitely talk about it here.
All right, I'll go.
There? Sure, talk to us.
I'll go. I'm not like, I'm not completely disappointed by any of the characters. I'm not completely overly thrilled by any of them. I have one major gripe, though, with these characters. And it's Becky. For one very simple reason. Okay. She's another freaking showboat.
Yes, she is.
What is with all of the good females being made showboats lately? There are other classes to put good females in. And I just feel like they're all being ignored lately. And it's making me kind of sad because, like, I only have room to use, so many showboats, for Feud and all that stuff. I need them to be from other classes, too. I found that was the most frustrating thing, I think, out of seeing all the new characters was great. Another good female showboat that we're now getting on our roster as opposed to, like, a class we could actually use them in, like Powerhouse.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they were a little more broader spread, I guess. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. But if it wasn't so focused on just one class. But, I mean, you think she's good, obviously, right?
Oh, yeah. I think all the cards are actually pretty good. I think Grande Americano's great. Becky's great. Lex seems to be, pretty good for a free-to-play, Hall of Fame level character, especially if you get his gear. Then he seems to be pretty good himself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the cards seem good. I'm just frustrated that it's another, showboat female.
Yep. Yeah, Lex is actually quite fantastic, especially with gears. He's amazing. I'll get into that actually towards the end here. Let's get everybody else's comments and thoughts on our monthly characters that are non-revamps.
So what I had forgot about is they didn't touch all the MP classes with the first round of Hall of Famers.
Yes.
So when I saw Lex and his with his trainer ability, I was like, oh yeah, we got more classes to go. Because every time they really don't make it easy to figure out which MP is with which person. So I always gotta equip them and then go to the card and then check which MP I'm doing, and inevitably I'm always wrong about which one I'm adding. So I gotta take them all, find another one, and that's a pain. Yep. But yeah, I was happy about that. I'm also, so it's a weird dynamic they put in this month with the getting the card at 6-star silver at the end of the month if you max the MLC, because if you get the starter pack, you got them to get them 5-star to get all the stuff and do all the things. But then, if you wait around long enough, you can get them at 6-star and 6-star silver. And it's like, then why am I even jump starting if the finish line is going to get me where I need to be at. And then also, it seems like in the following months, recently for the backstage pass, they've been including a 6-star version of the previous free character of the month. So if you max the contest and you have them at 6-star silver, why would you want to get a 6-star version, bronze version of them in the following month? So that's like a weird dynamic that they got. And maybe it won't work out. Maybe they'll change stuff up next month. I don't know. But this seems really weird. And Hall of Fame tokens, the regular Hall of Fame tokens, don't give you nothing in talent up. So, or at least the new regular Hall of Fame tokens don't give you nothing in talent up now. So, with a million talent ups, there's no reason to even take these people up. And also, I was disappointed that Lex didn't give you a reversal on the MP up. They should really keep these guys scary. I don't want to have to think that Lex is in the crew of people that I gotta watch out for when I'm ready to take my MP up and my gym damage up.
Yeah.
And now it's safe with him, but it ain't safe with everybody else. I don't want to feel safe. I want to know where the problem's coming from.
I mean, look, he's got the trap gem reversal, which is very strong for what it's worth. A lot of people are going to forget that this month is the anti-trap month. So just make sure
my gender's going to remember.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll remember after the first time he doesn't remember. That's for sure.
Indeed.
Anybody else on our monthly characters? Shell, you want to give us a little insight on our monthly characters instead of the revamp ones?
Okay. Like, he's definitely been usable.
I cannot hear you. You sound like you're all muffled, Shell.
Really?
There you
Sorry.
go. Much better.
That's better.
Okay. Lex seems like he's decent. You know, I was, advised last week, like, hey, if I did buy the Jumpstart pack, and it was like, oh, if you hold on to your character, you do what you got to do, and you wait, and then you save up all of your evolve tokens, and don't evolve them until the very end, after you get the 6-star silver for maxing towards the end, you could just save up all of your evo tokens and take them to 6 gold, I thought that was pretty clever, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then admittedly, I am not someone who goes and looks at videos of characters I don't have yet. I never have, and I probably never will. So I haven't really looked into the others yet. I have seen what you've done, like what you have done on stream, or, and check that out a little bit. But I don't have Becky. I'm looking forward to Becky.
Yep.
She looks like she's going to be great. El Grande Americano. I love that it's a new character that's going to be brand new in the game, and he is a great character just to watch. So it's going to be, I think those are going to be fun. I should get them eventually at some point. So I do like the idea of Becky, but also like what Chris was saying, it's why Showboat?
Another damn Showboat. Yeah.
Another damn Showboat. I don't need another Showboat.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have like another, like he said, a powerhouse,
Mm-hmm.
or a trickster, or something different than what we don't really have, like a really great one lately.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely tough with
I still like her though. She looks cool.
Yeah, she's gonna be fantastic. When people start getting her on their roster and people start realizing that they have her gear because that's been put in the armory contest this month, people are definitely going to walk away from this month and being like, damn, she's good. I ended up power ranking her with Lee from Champions Chat on the Thursday night stream, and that was fun. I think she's the highest ranked A tier that they have ranked since their power ranking thing had come out, and I think there was even an argument for her to be another point higher. I think she was, in my book, to be a 23 instead of a 22, which is insane out of 25 as a character that everyone's going to get for the month. So yeah, she's great, honestly, great. So yeah, I'm thrilled with her. I kind of like Shell alluded to earlier, the Hall of Fame Lex thing, which is what I was going to wait to talk about, but makes sense to talk about it now. If you max the MLC, one of the new changes they did in the MLC was you get a 6-star silver of the freebie character. So it is a fuse up of the freebie character all the way at 6 silver. 6 full stars, and you get them 1 rarity shy of maxing them out at gold. It can still happen when you max the MLC during the month. And now there are ways to take your 6 silver to 6 gold with the monthly Evo tokens. So if you can find a way to work through the majority of your content on the month without spending the required 8,000 Evo tokens, I think is what it is, to take the freebie character from 6 silver to 6 gold, then you can take them 6 gold immediately once you max the MLC. So the idea is save up all of your Evo tokens for the month, at least up to 8,000. If you get, like, let's say 9,000 and it takes you 1,000 to move them up a rarity from wherever you're at right now because you're struggling, then sure, do that. But try to save 8,000 through the month, and then when you max the MLC, you'll get them at 6-star silver, and boom, you can take them straight away to 6-star gold. And that will help save not only on Hall of Fame gold tokens, but the shards required to max them out as well. So I liked that idea a lot. It's a very solid idea. Very good outcome for, I think, a lot of players out there, especially with a Hall of Fame character. Lex, I think, is fantastic. It's great that we got another one in the rotation of that whole 2 MP gem damage health kick out combination stuff. So we're only missing one now, so thrilled that we got another one there. Becky, as I have alluded to numerous times, is just an absolute lights-out fighter in this game. Really, really good. And her coach got upgraded to 100% botch gem, which is the best as a coach. It's tied with Barrett as a trainer. So, huge win in my book there. Her gear makes her absolutely insane. She's great all around and fantastic at killing strikers. And Americano, I mean, I wish he didn't cause the game to lag as much as he did, which, again, if you're watching this on YouTube at this point, you definitely have noticed the fight against him. He causes some really horrible lag. But that being said, if you can play on the phone or another device where he doesn't cause any lag, he is a lights-out character, honestly. I know a lot of people were very huge up on Tech Rocky Balboa post-revamp. Americano makes Tech Rocky look like, a leaf in the pond. He looks like nothing compared to how good Americano actually is. So I'm a huge fan of the introduction to the game for him. I'm curious to see how he's going to scale up at higher levels once 99 MP falls off, or if we're going to go past 6-star gold or anything like that anytime soon. But right now he's very good. I think he's going to be an absolute monster when it comes to boss battles with certain build sets. But this month's characters seems like a win all around, honestly. And just to kind of poke at B-Rock a little bit, I did just take a look at the moment, and now I can't wait to use Yoko in a video for him. Speaking of B-Rock,
you can't polish the turd.
Yeah,
you can't polish the turd, so I really wish that you have the ability to try.
Hey, you say that, and look at where your striker Austin is now. All right, then. Take it away. What are your thoughts on our monthly characters, B-Rock, except for the revamps?
So, I can't really give an opinion because I have not looked at anything other than basically using Hall of Fame Lex at this moment. I didn't even know about the whole Evo thing at this moment, so that was great to learn that today. I've been on the road since almost the beginning of the month.
How you been on the road and at the poolside, huh?
I'm not home.
You had to get to the pool some way.
I'm not home.
Oh no.
There's Philly to Massachusetts, not even Boston, but it's close enough to Boston. Philly to Boston was more of a hike than I thought it would be. Then Boston back to Philly, then Philly to South Carolina, and then in what time is it? 12. In about another 16 hours, it's going to be South Carolina to Mickey and Minnie.
Oh, you're going down to Disney.
Yes. And so at this point, what I'm going to say is I'm never buying anything again on this game. Because if you knew the amount of money, like I've been free to play for like a month and a half. If you knew how much money I've spent, it's insane. Insane. And I'm going to be miserable this entire time. I'm going to have to hear people complain about walking. I already know. And I'm going to have to carry one. It's just, yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Hey, my wife bought them all dresses, so they each have a different princess dress to walk around the park in.
Aww. How are you going to hate on that?
Yeah. Dude, you have no idea. You grew up. Shell.
Yeah.
Will you tell them? Will you tell them what it's like with kids? Tell them.
Yeah. I mean,
I need.
Bob's fitted voice chats when my son's walked in the room. And
Oh, yeah.
He knows. He knows.
Oh, yeah. Well, B-Rock, enjoy your trip. That's for sure. We'll talk about the rest of the MLC, though, while we're at it. So, back to Unleashing the Heat. We talked about all of our new characters. We didn't really go over, like, the new gears for Lex, but that's also fine. It's really not the end of the world. This month, it is a 5-week MLC. The start of the month also had a few very premium skill plates that were on it. So could get those there. Nothing really crazy to talk about there either. I'm still curious.
I disagree, sir.
Oh, go on. Stop yelling at me.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'm not yelling. I'm just letting you know. This is B-Rock being a little excited.
Okay, excited.
I got
excited.
I got an NPO plate.
You got an NPO plate?
Yes, sir. Envy, I got the plate. I got Tiffy. I got my Tiffy plate.
Talking about the Jitter Time plate.
No, that's the NPO plate.
That's not... Okay.
But I got it. I am so happy. I'm thrilled because I have been trying to get one for like a year. It feels like a year. I got one. I'm very happy. I am so happy that I left it in. It's a beautiful thing.
You left it in.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. B-Rock excited. Outside of that stuff, it is a 5-week MLC, and there's like a weird amount of contests and information that is on the blog in regards to like what's coming up for the entirety of the month. But like there's a bunch of special events for like week 2, week 3, week 4, so there's no real like breakdown on what any of that stuff is. But I guess the final thing I wanted to talk to everybody about in here was comparing this month to last month. Did everybody actually get the characters that they indicated were gettable for free last month? So, like, did you actually get Bundy without needing to spend? Did you actually get Michelle McCool without needing to spend? And if so, does that lead you believing the same thing for this month, that you're going to get Becky or Americano without needing to spend?
So, based off my observations, like, I got them pretty easily, but I'm a spender. I am not free to play. But I think the only way you got them without spending is if you were a spender in the past and had like all of the like necessary characters for both of them, because a lot of people I know were struggling. You know, they participated in every event and all that stuff, but they were still pretty short of Bundy and McCool for some reason.
Interesting.
So it just seemed to me, from my observations, it was harder than it had been.
I remember talking...
It wasn't what was advertised, I guess I should say.
I remember talking with some folks, and they had mentioned that if their players had played more, they would have walked away with them. Like, they had played but hadn't done enough to actually walk away with them. And I don't know if that's what actually happened, where people just didn't play everything because they were too busy, or they just were bothered, or if they couldn't play everything, and that was the difference. I kind of figured, and I knew this was going to be a weird one on the month, because, and maybe I was one of the very few people that noticed it, but it looked like Bundy was going to be more difficult to recruit than Michelle McCool. And I remember seeing that there was definitely some folks that were in that boat that were like, yeah, I recruited Michelle McCool first, but then I recruited Bundy later. And I think that's because Bundy's shards were accounted for in the daily claim. So you needed to claim every single day, including the Monday before the next MLC. So, like, if you did everything for free, you would get Bundy on the very last day of the MLC, compared to Michelle McCool, which should be like week 4 towards the end of it after you do all your stuff. So it was very odd seeing a lot of different, not arguments, but a lot of different outlooks and points of view from different players. But I was curious if you thought that was going to carry forward into this month. Are you excited about it? Are you not? Things like that.
So I was free to play last month, obviously. And if you remember, I messed up the showdown week 1.
Yep.
Because I messed up the showdown week 1, I wasn't able to get Michelle McCool during the month, but I got Bundy. I got Bundy actually relatively easy. I got Bundy actually the beginning of the last week is when I got him.
Okay.
I did turn around, and at the beginning of this MLC, one of the prize walls was, I think it was like 300 shards for Michelle McCool. Got it right then and there. So that's when I got it. My issue with Michelle McCool is, oh my God, the shards are scarce.
Okay.
So, yeah, the shards to get, like, to level her up, the extra shards, they're
showboat,
not.
You mean?
The focus showboat, yeah. They're rough.
Yeah.
There's not. I don't live in Chewbob land where he's probably got 30,000 each. He's got those 30,000 S plus tier shards sitting there. But I did notice that
for helping you out here.
Hey, you're not helping. You're not helping. You want to send something my way? You send something my way. I mean, that's helping.
I'm not helping get you more shards, but I'm trying to help you get your characters, bro. Come on.
But I will say that she looks really good. So that's a plus. So I think it's doable for free to play. Now, obviously, I was a spender in the past, so some of the stuff that was needed, I got, and I will say this: I got a clutch pull from the speed bag for Nia Jax the week that she was needed, so that helped.
Wow, you hit Queen of the Ring Nia out of the speed tour.
Out of the speed tour, I hit Queen at 5-star bronze, and I was like, boom, to the moon real quick.
Wow.
and I was able to get the shards and stuff that I needed for her. But I thought that was definitely something that helped, because if not, I think I would have been shorter than the shards needed.
That's wild.
Now I do hope that it continues this month, because if it does, I will say this: if Scopely continues this trend, this is going to be great. This is the all-time great. I'm talking, it's going to be up there with like auto clear.
You're talking about
if they're able to. No, I'm not talking about speed tour. I'm talking about the way that, hey, if you work the entire month and you're able to get, even if you get one of the two, and you're within, I don't know, however many shards of the third or the second one, if you're able to get somewhere in that, I think that's going to be an all-time game changer. And when I say all-time game changer, I'm talking about up there with auto clear. I'm talking about up there with one button clicking and having all your dailies done. I think that for a free-to-play player is going to be, as I said, game-changing. Because now you can actually grind out. Yeah, you can grind out and recruit the character, and that character always rolls into the next month.
Yeah.
So your roster is going to automatically get better month over month over month. Now you have to put a whole lot of work in, but you can get the results that everybody wants without having to spend. And then the people who spend can get that character earlier. That's literally what it is. So if this is the trend that they're going, I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I really like the idea that people can earn characters now. That's like a big win to me. And I don't think that it has to be just from like a one weekend thing, right? Like I don't like this feud weekend, for example. I don't think anybody is going to walk away from this feud weekend saying, "Oh, dang, I didn't get Americano. This is the worst weekend ever." Because they know if they play the month, they get to walk away with Americano. Right? Like, that's how I'm viewing it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's an issue with that. And sure, to your point, I think for the people that want to spend, there should be a little, incentive for people spending. If they want to get Americano early and they want to get the moment, or they want to get some prize wall, or they want to get whatever the tour pays out, or any of the other rewards, like, they deserve more because they spent more and earlier compared to people like, us that will be waiting to get Americano towards the end of the month, instead of like, oh, well, I need him right now, I need to play him right now, I need to get his things right now.
Did you really mean to say us, or did you mean to say you guys?
No, I meant to say us. Do I have Americano right now, B-Rock?
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
Exactly. I don't. Here, let's go by shards, let's go by men, and let's scroll all the way to the bottom to in loot.
I figured you already had him, Bob.
No. Here,
I thought you already had it and maxed to 6-star gold.
No. 1,200 shards. That is where I'm at.
So I have a very important question, because based off what I'm hearing here and what I'm seeing in my faction, am I the only one who hasn't gotten Naya from these speed tours? Because I'm feeling very left out.
I definitely did not get
You already have her, dude. You have her 6-star gold.
I don't have Naya.
I thought you pulled Naya, Chris.
I have never pulled Naya. She is still sitting in the I don't have her category.
The one that I got that I haven't seen anybody else get, which was actually wild on day one, was Samu from the Head Shrinkers. That was kind of cool. But obviously, yes, I already had him. It was just wild to see that. And I was like, day one, Samu Head Shrinker. I was like, wait a minute. This thing is paying out characters like this? Someone's going to be happy when they hit their Samu. And I haven't seen anybody hit him in 2 weeks now. I have seen somebody hit Fatu, which was great though. But yeah, that is our MLC talks. Anything else on the MLC as a whole before we move on to this weekend, to Americana Weekend, as we were just briefly discussing. All
Hey,
right.
can I add one thing about the speed tour, Bob?
Oh, yeah, sure. What's up, Rusty? How you doing?
What's up, Two Bob Nation? So my friend and faction leader, Coach Rick, he said about the speed tours, his son is more of a casual player, and he got 15 out of 17 days in a row a new superstar.
Oh,
So
that's
I
awesome.
thought, perspective-wise, that's pretty impressive and unbelievable for if there's a community that are newer players or been free to play for a long time. This is a roster accelerant like I don't think I've ever seen before.
No, yeah, this is for the speed tour side of things, right? This is wild. I don't think there's ever been a thing like this. Even when they sometimes used to have those free claims for logging in, and you get a 2-star bronze and all this type of stuff. Some of these characters are also very rare, right? Like B-Rock just mentioned, he got Queen of the Ring. I mentioned I got Samu, or somebody else got Fatu. Like, these are not old characters that are just mediocre. Like, I'm sure at least a couple of those 15 that he recruited, they have to be some of the better characters in the game. And yeah, maybe not the best of the best, right? Like, maybe it's not a Kamala or something like that, but I'm sure he got characters that makes his roster significantly better compared to where it used to be, and hasn't spent a dime, right? Because it's just the speed tour, and you just have to use what you have on your account to do it. And the other thing that I liked about this is the speed tour never got harder. It wasn't like, okay, hey, day 1, super easy, but now that we're on day 17, now you have to start fighting 6-star golds or any of that type of stuff. I would have hated that. But the idea that it's like, yeah, just coast through with whoever you're comfortable winning with, and you can keep winning with them the entire month, every single day, that's got to have been a world changer for that guy's account. Like, big time.
So, have you guys been following Merrick's free-to-play account? No. He's posted what he's gotten in the box every day, and he's gotten some really, big cards for his roster.
Oh, see, that's awesome, Coach Rick. If he got all of the dual 4 MP trainers out of the speed tour boxes, that's like a significant pick-me-up, right? None of those were cheap whatsoever, and that's awesome. Like, that's a huge pick-me-up for any account that doesn't have them. So yeah, I mean, obviously a relatively solid game changer for any account out there. Yeah, I know Clay was chasing them for a while too. But yeah, I mean, hey, Speed Tour bag is a hell of a win. Anybody else on the MLC thoughts before we round out our final point?
Wait, show of hands. Do we think we're getting Christmas in July? Our 50 Santa Hogan tokens, or however much it is?
There's got to be a Christmas in July, right? That's got to be one of these fancy special weeks. And I think that's why they're not telling us about it. I think that's why it's like special event, weekend, whatever, and it's like they don't want to tell us that Christmas is July and July is going to be here. They want to hopefully have it as a surprise, but I don't think it's going to be a surprise. I think everybody knows it's coming.
Bob, can I make a prediction on that?
Sure.
I could be wrong. I could be way wrong. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I think this could finally be the year that they turn the generosity dial on the Santa Hogan tokens.
You're saying turn it up?
The game has evolved to such a degree that he's just not the get that he used to be thousands of dollars and years ago, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think people are spending to chase him, that he's kind of irrelevant. And so I think this year they may just say, here's a bunch of Santa tokens.
It's a possibility. I remember somebody left a set of feedback on the new Discord, which again, if you're not on there, make sure to hop on there. But somebody left some feedback there, and I was actually pretty impressed because it was similar to something that I had thought about almost 2 years ago. If you have Santa at a certain rarity, why can you not have like a victory tour for Santa that requires you to be a certain rarity to use him, right? Like if you have him at 5-star bronze, and then you can enter this 5-star bronze tour that gives you enough to take him.
I'm just sitting in here.
Who is talking?
That's Clay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to mute him then.
You hit a button.
But yeah, the victory tour thing. Like, who's to say that you can't have enough tokens in a victory tour that allows you to take Santa from 5 bronze to 5 silver, or from 4 silver to 4 gold, right? Like, have just enough tokens that you can do that. But you can only do one of those, right? Like, you can't take a 2-star silver to 2 gold, and then a 2 gold to 3 bronze, and a 3 bronze to 3. Like, there needs to be some way to wall that off. But like, I wish there was a way to like almost guarantee everyone a singular move up, right? Like enough tokens to move their Santa up 1 rarity at the bare minimum. Like there should be some way of doing that. But that's what I'm hoping for.
My prediction: we're gonna get a Santa Hogan revamp.
No.
And at a certain level, he's going to get a 2 MP boost as opposed to.
I mean, it's possible that he gets a 2 MP instead of a 1 MP. I've been expecting that for a long time, but I also expect that whenever that happens, that NWO Perfect needs to get a pick me up too, because then he's essentially useless as a trainer. And that I don't think is happening. That's just a me thing personally. But nevertheless, let's move on to our weekend contest, the Ring of the Brave weekend contest, with, of course, El Grande Americano as the top milestone reward. This weekend, there is obviously a very large chance of earning yourself an El Grande Americano. And as I just alluded to a little bit earlier with the Discord, if you haven't done so already and joined, there is over 3,000 individuals on the Discord server. So make sure to join and join the sweepstakes. They are giving away not 1, not 2, but 3 El Grande Americanos. 1 at 6 bronze, 1 at 6 silver, and 1 at 6 gold because of the amount of people that have joined the Discord. So make sure that you're part of that, and good luck to anybody out there if they are going for it. On top of that, there is the new moment, the Lex Body Slams Yoko challenge moment, as Chris and I had both alluded to a little earlier in the podcast. So curious to see what everybody thinks about that one as well. And while we're also talking about it, this weekend was Ozzy Osbourne's final show. So apparently he was performing with Black Sabbath, I believe is what it was, over in the UK. And this is his last time performing. So he had his final show on July 5th. Bark at the Moon Ozzy makes its way back to the game. And the Trickster Ozzy, there's a free claim for everybody in the store that hasn't gotten him already, as well as his gear being on sale. So Ozzy Osbourne making a return to the game for another 24-hour contest. So yeah, decent amount of stuff happening this weekend. Ultimate Warrior received a weirdo trainer revamp, which, you know, if anyone wants to talk about that, by all means, go for it. But yeah, wanna hear from everybody in regards to this weekend. Did you get Americano? Are you interested in the moment? Did you do anything for Ozzy? Just pretty much talk to me about your weekend.
So I did a 7 pull for Ozzy just for the hell of it, just because, and I managed to hit a featured. It was like 30 Ministry of Darkness shards.
Oof.
It was sad.
Oof.
I was so disappointed when that happened. I would rather have not gotten a featured than gotten that one.
Painful. I am sorry for your loss.
Other than that, I mean, the faction feud, it's plain. It is what it is. It's feud. It's fine. I have like 20 million to go, and then I'll hit my 500 million.
Woo!
I'll get there. But yeah, it's a pretty solid weekend for feud, though. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing like major or anything in there.
Right.
Although I do think it's a nice touch that if you did pull El Grande Americano, then you get the moment.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty cool.
I wish. But no luck for yours truly. Shell, talk to me. Weekend.
It's a feud.
All right. And anything else?
No. I like what Chris said. That that one of the if you had pulled El Grande or you had him at the beginning of the weekend, you could do that 24-hour tour and you got the moment for free, which was cool. I did not get him, so I can't do that. But I guess the spenders who spend and keep the game thriving, deserve, I guess, somewhat better rewards or more options than the people who are not spending. But even though I am a spender, I was still unlucky. I'm just spending the weekend doing tours, feuding.
Just enjoying your weekend.
CSS, just trying to get CSS done. Well, late night was rough.
Yeah.
We mentioned I work on the weekends, so it's like by the time I get home from work and I work at night, it's by the time I get home from work, I'm exhausted. I'm trying to do CSS. I'm just getting frustrated. I'm being annoying. Bob is having the patience of a saint. Chill, what are we doing here? I don't know what I'm doing, Bob. I'm tired. Yeah. Sitting here chatting with you guys. Still doing feud in the background. Seeing if I can. I'm a little bit further away than Chris. But I'm, probably double that. So I'm probably like 40 million away. So
okay.
Maybe not.
Alright, so just truck it along. Fair enough.
Just trucking along.
Envy, talk to me. Feud weekend, Americano weekend, new moment.
Bad decisions were made from start until now. So
Oh,
first
boy.
off, I saw the moment, and just like Juvenile said, I need it in my life. I want it in my life. Come put it in my life. I'm gonna keep it in my life.
Wait.
And
Envy, I cannot get I cannot get any marks here on my YouTube channel.
well, as long as you don't put the music in the background, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh god.
But so I tried a 47 pull for Grande because I seen him in action. I saw your video and I said, yeah, I like to get him just so I can get the moment and use them. And I failed horribly. I only got like 120 shards and nothing else to speak of. So then I said, well, I can't wait till Saturday. I'm gonna get the Aussie gear. I don't even use Aussie. I don't even have my gold, but I want the gear. So I got the gear. Then I used him in Feud, and boy, was that sad. He did nothing. He did less than nothing. I was like, wow, the silver Aussie that did nothing for me. So I got gear and I got pulls that did nothing. But I'm still on the conquest to get the moment off the prize wall because Macho gonna be ugly when that moment comes to life.
Yeah, that moment's going to help out quite a few of those characters on there. Both Lex's, Yoko, obviously, and Hall of Fame Macho, big time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun to be able to actually see how strong they can all be. And last but certainly not least, B-Rock, talk to me. Weekend.
I'm scrolling through here real quick, and I'm a little disappointed in Envy here because I'm trying to understand, homie. You're saying your Ozzy does nothing. My Ozzy's doing like 80 million turn one.
But yours gold, right?
Is yours gold?
Not my silver.
Oh, okay. All right. So 40 million. Gotcha. All right. This weekend, I'm trying to put this work in. I just hit 400 million for Feud. I don't think I'm gonna get to 5 in 2 hours, unless my partner in crime, who is on the podcast with me, wants to queue up so we can just kind of run through it because I'm sitting here waiting.
Sounds like someone's getting frustrated.
Your partner in crime just forgot that Jey Uso Striker has Pyro Gem interrupt, and he's now very pissed off.
Oh God! All right, but Feud weekend. It looks good. I am trying to get to these 23 tokens so I can get my Jey Uso. Believe it or not, because he's on here for 275. I am 15 away, so that's where I would spend my coins if I do get it. Outside of that, on the Disney, baby, on the Disney.
All right, so not really giving a damn about this weekend, just enjoying your Disney trip.
I don't know about enjoying the trip, but I'm just trying to get it over with.
Trying to get it over with. That's a way of approaching it. Okay. All right.
Put it this way, my wife just texted me, "Hey, I DoorDash sushi." I'm like, "You got sushi from South Carolina?" I haven't seen it. Anyway, never mind.
You can get sushi in South Carolina. It's just the fact that you DoorDashed it that's suspect.
Yeah, that one's a little out there, to put it kindly.
I'm just gonna leave it alone, and I'm just gonna say okay.
Listen, the wife gets what the wife wants, right?
I have not seen the demographic that would make sushi here yet. So if I got Billy Bob out there making sushi, there's a problem.
Oh, good lord.
We had Larry's Tacos, so if we've got Betty Sue's Sushi, there's a problem.
Yeah, tacos.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
What was it? Tacos and tires or something?
Oh, tacos, taxidermy, and tires.
There you go. All of that. Make sure to visit. Anybody else for anything else on the podcast before we wrap up Volume 21 today? Alrighty. Let's call it a podcast and close up the lounge. Thank you all for listening on in. It was definitely a wacky one at certain points. Whether it was B-Rock and his Disney talks, whether it was Envy and his box discussions, it didn't matter. This was full of content and hopefully a decent amount of entertainment. But anyway, that's going to be it for this volume. Make sure to stay tuned for a couple weeks from now when we go live with volume number 22. As always, if you want to get in on the podcast, just shoot me a message on Discord and I will be glad to add you onto the list. All you need is a stable internet connection, a working microphone, and to not say anything bad. Let's put it that way. You've heard bad enough on this podcast. Just don't go worse than that. Yeah? Anyway, that's enough of me yapping. Until next time, y'all. Have a good one.